Hello, everybody. Hi. Let me know you're here. And you're watching. We're at 2:59, so we're like 1 minute. This light is really bright and it's showing every pore of my face. Did you know that you can go to your video and go to video settings and you can touch up my appearance, which I've definitely done before. So if you go to your video settings, you can do it, although I can't see any of you. So I'm going to get the chat up, the Q&A up, make sure everything is working. So let me know who's here. I see that we have 14 participants. And are you working from home? I'm assuming that we're all working from home right now. And how many days social distancing are you at this point? I know all the states are different. What are we? What day is it? I don't even know. We started on March 13th was the official first day because the kids didn't have school March 13th. So we started March 13th. I don't see anyone writing in the chat. So let's see. Oh, Cindy in Denver, 16 days. Okay, if we started the 13th, then we're probably on the 16th day too, right? I don't even know actually anymore, but looks like we're going to be home for quite a lot longer as well, which is, a good thing, but a horrible thing if you are used to routine. March 20th, says Joanne. Tammy says, I'm finally feeling like I have the working from home thing down. Tammy, I got your email. I've been with the kids this morning, so I haven't been on email, but I did want to respond. Barb, I've lost count. In Maryland, governor just raised level of shutdown effective tonight. Yes, so Massachusetts, we are it's not really like lockdown, but non-essential businesses have all closed. Schools are closed till May 4th, probably for the rest of the year. And everything is closed. It's really interesting. Jody says, I don't even know what day it is now. I know. Luke says, I've lost all sense of time. Yes, right. So we're here. It's Monday. I have been trying to have some semblance of a working schedule. So on the weekdays, what's been helping me, I've been waking up at 7. So actually, I used to wake up at 5 a.m. and work and just drive myself nuts. And then I had a really rigid schedule, but obviously that's all flown out the window. So now I'm sleeping in until 7 a.m. I check my email and go on my computer or try to like tie up loose ends from the night before until about 8, get my kids up. My son's already up. He's up at like 6:30. Make them do breakfast with them. And then my husband comes downstairs and we try to figure out how we're going to structure the day, what we're going to do for like quote unquote homeschooling, and then work on activities with them. And we both we say when we have calls, when we have webinars, what we need to do. It's been working okay. It's not ideal. Yes. So Wendy says, I'm at home in 1,000 square feet with a teenager, a 9-year-old, an 80-pound lab, a crazy terrier, and a cat. Now husband is working from home. Oh my gosh, and I'm on crutches. Oh, that's horrible. I don't have any pets. So it's not that I don't like animals. I love animals. I just don't want them in my house. I'm not trying to be horrible. No, I already have 2 kids and a husband. Like I can't. You are all angels if you have animals in your house right now. I honestly cannot imagine like if one more thing wanted my attention and I needed to micromanage one more thing, I would lose my ever-loving mind. But on the plus side, if we're going to talk about silver linings, because I'm trying to find at least one silver lining every day, I found 2 today. One is that my to-do list was 7,000 things long, but it is now not because everything's has to do with stuff outside the house, like register kids for camp, get new pair of glasses for Colin, do blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? All of those little things that I have to do out of the house. So they're kind of all out of the window for right now. And the other silver lining is that my husband's an amazing cook and he's never, ever, ever home to make dinner because he works in Boston and commutes. So having him home and cooking has been amazing. So I'm really trying to find at least one silver lining every day. And then I know it sounds horrible because I know that people are sick and dying. And a friend of mine, her father passed away this weekend, and we're seeing it all over the place, and we're just going to see more of it. So I don't want you to think I'm being glib or casual about the crisis, because it's very, very serious. I'm taking it seriously, but I do try. It's almost like having a gratitude journal. I'm trying to find something every day to be thankful for. Number one, of course, is I'm healthy. I'm 100% better. My family is healthy and we're hunkering down and we're okay. So that's it for us. So today, what are we talking about? I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go into work mode right now. And I can't believe that we're at March 30th. This is crazy. Okay, let me make sure that I have the questions and the chat pulled up if you guys need me. So, I want to make sure this is recording too. So come on, Zoom. The other thing that I heard, the pro tip that I heard, I can't find the controls because, why would I be able to? One thing that I did hear was that you shouldn't start meetings. I'm going to stop it and share it again because I want to make sure the chat is up. You shouldn't start meetings on the hour. Okay, there's the chat. You should start them. This is a little pro tip I heard from Giving Tuesday, actually, the people at Giving Tuesday. You shouldn't start the meetings at the hour. You should start them at like 1:15 or 1:20. I can't find okay, there's Q&A and there's recording. Okay, so I've got everything up. Zoom appears to be working. You can see me, you can hear me. I can see all of you in the chat. And I really hope that this course has been a silver lining in your day, in your week. And I'm not trying to put more work on you. Obviously, there's no grades at the end. I had this whole plan. I still might do it. I'm not going to tell you. It involves the mail. So I don't know. I don't even know if the mail is still going to be working when I have this thing to do it. Laura says, hi, all. Oh, I'm so excited to have all of you here. I really feel like we are a true cohort going through. Can you even believe how much has changed since we first started this journey together? I can't. So clearly we can talk about coronavirus COVID today. That's not what my slides are about. But if there are questions, I'm sure you have them. We can definitely talk about that at the end as we go through. So today's module is all about analytics, because when I was creating this course and I was asking around in my Facebook groups and my email list, one of the top questions was, how do we track analytics? Where do we look? What do we use? What do we do? So I wanted to make sure to include a specific module in the course around analytics. As per usual, I have a slide, how to get the most out of this course, but only bite off what you can chew. I know most of us are, if you're like me, you're not working as much as you used to, and you're balancing even more, and you probably have even less free time than you normally have had. So I don't want you to bite up more than you can chew. And I do want you to remember you do have access, lifetime access to all of this. Curious about that pro tip. Were you talking about scheduling external trainings or events or team meetings or both? So what I heard from Giving Tuesday was everything. So of course, I haven't had any problems scheduling things on the hour, but they did say that they had been having problems with internal meetings and external webinars. So they've been scheduling everything at like 3:15. So I don't know. If you've been having trouble with Zoom, it might be worth looking into scheduling something at a weird time, like 3:25, because everybody's logging in like right now to certain webinars and certain team meetings. All right. The syllabus, can you believe that next week is the last week? I really cannot believe last week is our last week together. I will be there all week. The group, I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep the group open. before, or maybe archive it. I don't know. The group is not overwhelming to me, and I actually really like our group, so I might keep it open for a while. And I am planning a new course that I'm working on right now. So I can't even believe. I just am so excited that this very first iteration of the Academy went so well. Of course, tech glitches and things like that, but for the most part, running it by myself as a shop of one, I'm pretty happy with it. So today, analytics. Next week, how to control the chaos, time management, and productivity. Especially now we can adapt it to the reality that we're all living in. So today we're going to talk about what metrics to track, where and how to pull them, some popular analytics dashboards, and my simple spreadsheet that I use to manage tracking, and some benchmarking reports so you can see how you're doing compared to other nonprofits. And then looking ahead, really we can talk about anything you want next week, but what I had planned: time batching, setting boundaries, creating more effective internal communication systems, and then a lot about buy-in, which I do believe all 4 of those points are pretty relevant, even in the brand new environment that we're struggling with. So we do have to look at everything right now through a different lens. But I still think that time management, productivity, burnout, all of that might even be more relevant to your life right now. So that's going to be next week. Okay, so getting into the meat of what we're talking about today. Are we getting results? Setting clear goals. Now, if you remember from way back when, even the pre-coursework and module 1, where we set our goals, and of course we did do the BHAGs, the big, hairy, audacious goals, which I loved. These were my example goals. And then matching platforms to the goals, and then matching tasks to the platforms that go with the goals. So when you're looking at metrics, you have to re-examine your goals, because you can't just pull metrics out of the air based on things that you think would be great to measure. So you always refer back to your goals. Now, I remember in the beginning, I talked a lot about this is not a perfect science unless you are fundraising and you say, I know that I raised $10,000 on my Facebook fundraiser. But even then, it's not necessarily a perfect science. But for a lot of these things, trust and credibility and go-to resource and building community and demonstrating evidence, there are certain numbers that you can pick from, but it's certainly not going to be absolutely perfect. Like email subscribers, you can have 10,000 email subscribers, but you do need to dig deeper into your email, and we'll talk about that. Blog readership. How many blog readers do you have? That's a really good sign that you are the go-to resource. Website traffic is a great indicator. YouTube views, video views, anything that can indicate that you are becoming a sought after go-to resource. So take a look at your goals and determine 3 or 4 metrics that you can measure that will tie in. And you can base them on these examples here. So we really want to share more inspiring stories. We want to shed light on the complex issues that we tackle. We want to provide the community with resources. If those are sound like some of your goals or overlap with some of your specific goals, things like engagement on social media, because that means people aren't just consuming it. So reach just means the number of people that saw it, but engagement means the number of people that liked or commented or shared or clicked on a link. So that is an even better indicator that it's resonating with people. And you also might have analog and offline. You might have analog and offline things like calls to hotline, number of letters written. I don't know what it would be right now. I was going to say event attendees, but that doesn't happen right now. So things that you might, phone calls to your office, things that you might measure that can show that you are raising awareness, increasing visibility, doing a good job with what you need to be doing. Collecting, crafting, sharing stories, making compelling case for giving. Maybe you want to measure new donors. You want to measure the number of people that created fundraisers for you. You want to measure the number of clicks to your website that resulted in donations, all of that. So we'll go through how to find these metrics. So social media analytics or metrics, that is the gathering of data, and it is a science, but it's not just the gathering of data for data's sake. It's the gathering of data to help inform us and guide our marketing strategy. And it helps us measure our performance against our goals. So we're not gathering data for data's sake. We never gather data for data's sake just because it's fun and because we can. We gather it because we're going to use it. It's sort of like sending out a survey. I would never recommend sending out a survey to your audience or to your donors if you're not going to actually use the data that you're collecting or the information that you're collecting. Asking questions randomly is not going to help you. So how to use social media analytics. When you're collecting this data and you're looking at the spreadsheet, you always want to be thinking about why and looking at the overall trends that are happening. So think about, oh, wow, like this, we got a lot of blog hits this month, or we gained 20 new Twitter followers this month. Look at the trends, always be asking why. How have my followers grown this month? Which posts seem to be performing the best? What time makes the most sense to post? This is all important right now, especially because everything has kind of gone out the window. So I'm assuming your content calendar that we created a few weeks ago is just completely kind of thrown out the window, and that's fine. You have to adapt. You have to have that white space and that ability to be flexible and to, I really don't like the word pivot, but pivot, adapt, iterate, whatever it is you want to do, and change your content as required. So a lot of this might change. So Google Analytics, we're going to take a look at. I didn't have it pulled up. It's a completely free tool. Most of you might be using it. It's a free resource that you can add to your website. The real key with Google Analytics is it can get very overwhelming when you just look at it. Oops, there's my Pod Save America. Okay, Google Analytics home. So this is your dashboard. And when you set it up, it actually has this really great tutorial, and you can choose what you want to feature on your dashboard. When do your users visit? Where are your users? How do you acquire users? That is super important. What pages do they visit? How are they trending over time? What are your top devices? Which I think is really important. It's interesting to me that it's 78% desktop, probably because I have a little bit more of a traditional professional audience, maybe not on the go as much. So that's desktop or laptop. How well do you retain users? So you can add whatever you want to this desktop. Now I use WordPress for my website, so I have all of this data, but it doesn't go as in depth. And then you can see behavior flow. Let's go to acquisition, social. This is going to show you, if you look at network referrals, it's going to show you where people are coming from. If you're putting your website on social media or they're clicking on your bio, obviously the majority of my audience comes from Facebook, Twitter. Pinterest is always a huge driver of traffic for me, actually. So I need to be doing more on Pinterest, LinkedIn. So you can look at that and see, and you can actually look at any time period. So if you want to analyze a specific time period, like this week compared to last week, or these past 2 weeks compared to the past 2 weeks, which seems like a lifetime ago, you absolutely can. You can do week, you can do month. I always think it's good to just really get these trends. So then you can really start to see a little bit of where you should be focusing. And of course, there's so much in here that you don't necessarily need. I don't usually look at like cross device and, a lot of this stuff. Lifetime value, that's really if you're selling something on your website. Jess, no, you can't get this data if you can't edit your agency's website. So you have to add this code to your website. It's like a little piece of code, but if you could send it to the person, you could set up an account or ask the person that who's editing your website to add it to the website, because honestly, yeah, you can't do anything without adding it. I just love it. So this is where you do dashboards, custom reports, custom alerts. I mean, there's so much that you can do. This is an awesome dashboard from Whole Whale. So I can send you the link to this. I can't remember how I got this. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if you would like this, I can send it to you. But what Whole Whale did, they're an agency that I work with occasionally, and they do Facebook ads and Google ads, and they're amazing. And they're a really small agency based in New York. They created this dashboard based on social media. So this is a dashboard that they created that you can just click on and adapt. So you can see AdWords performance. So they have a whole bunch of different free dashboards that they create, or you can just create your own daily sessions, overall site sessions. I don't have goal completions. I can show you how to do that. Engage users, social traffic. There's so much you can do. I wouldn't get too overwhelmed with this. I would pick the metrics that you want to focus on and look at maybe 3 different metrics and measure them time over time over time. So you do have to add that tracking code to your website so Google can track the activity. It can't track past activity, but it will start immediately. So the sooner you can add it, the better. And in a few hours, you should be able to see the data once you add it. So some sample metrics, how many pages do people visit, or how long do they stay on your site? Do they go to your website and then immediately leave? Like literally go to your website for 1 second and immediately leave. That's bounce rate. And that might be telling you something. Like, is your site heavy to load? Is it slow to load? What are your most viewed pages? There's all sorts of great data you can get. Now, this is a little bit advanced, and I'm not going to physically walk you through how to set up a goal. But if you are interested, I have a couple of slides on it, and there's more examples inside Google Analytics, but you can create conversion goals. So this means, did someone go to your website? Like say they went to your donation page and then they ended up on the thank you for donating page, which means they completed a donation. So you can measure how many people hit that page, which you can only get to by making a donation, right? Or how many people downloaded something you wanted them to download, how many people registered. So rather than just measuring, are we sending website traffic to the website, how many people are converting and actually taking that action that we want them to take. So this is much more if you're purchasing ads, if you have a landing page, or even if you just want to see if you're posting a link onto Facebook, if you're posting a link on social media and you want to see how many people are actually converting in the end game, you can set up a goal in your Google Analytics dashboard. And you can see, I don't actually have goals set up. I should have goals set up, but you can see, you can set up in conversions and you can set up goals. That's because people have, funnels. So you can set up goal URLs. You do have to be the administrator of your Google Analytics account, and you have to have a business account and all of those good things. But that's something that could actually really help you prove the ROI of a fundraising campaign, of an email acquisition campaign. Website traffic, referrals, you want to really analyze where your traffic is coming from and what tends to happen with that traffic. So actually on Giving Tuesday, what Classy found. Classy is a donation processing platform, peer-to-peer platform. They process millions of dollars of donations on Giving Tuesday on their platform. They found that Instagram drove more donors than Facebook. Isn't that crazy? So this was before the Instagram donate button. They actually drove more donors than Facebook. So you really can start to see where people are coming from and the behavior that they're exhibiting from these different sites. Facebook Insights. All right, let's look at Facebook Insights. So you'll see, this is my page. Oh, there's so much. stuff all over the page. Then you have to go to these 3 little dots, view insights. I've been posting a lot of outside links lately, so I'm not expecting my engagement to be huge because of course Facebook doesn't like outside links. Then you can look at your followers. You can see net followers. Where's people? People. This will give you information on age groups, demographics. No surprise, 73% of my fans are women, mostly nonprofits. Where do they live? Like where, how many people have I reached? Because that means some people have shared my stuff, so it reaches even more. How are my groups doing? I have several groups that I run, if you manage groups. What about reach? Is your reach kind of growing over time? Is it peaking on certain days? Is it kind of spiking? What actions are people taking? So you really can see some pretty great insight. You have to be the administrator on the page. Barb says Classy has great resources. Yes, even if you don't purchase their products. They are running on April 2nd. I'm going to find it right now. April 2nd, Classy. They're running a webinar that I just signed up for on how to create a standout virtual fundraising campaign. I'm putting it in the chat. I signed up for it. It looks amazing. It's on April 2nd. They are really, really great people. They're just really good people, and I really like them. So you can also see in Facebook Insights, what time are people mostly online? What days are the most popular? And then your most popular posts. What posts got the most engagement? Now, this is helpful because if you're thinking about boosting any post or spending money on an ad, I always recommend boosting things that are popular. So you don't want to boost, something that didn't get a lot of engagement because your community is kind of telling you, okay, that's not the most relevant thing. Boost something that's getting a lot of engagement to even get it more engagement. So you can easily see your reach, you can see your engagement, and then you can click to boost a post and you can see what kind of type it is. So was it a photo? Was it a video? Was it a status update? Was it a live video? Was it a link? And you can easily get a lot of information from your Facebook Insights. So what are your 5 most recent posts? Pages to watch. That's another great one, actually. I don't think I really do that one. I don't even know where to find pages to watch. Oh, top poster and pages to watch. So pages to watch. This is sort of like competitors, but I don't really believe in competition, to be honest with you. So I think that for you can watch pages that are going to be relevant in your industry. So if you are working on arts education, if you're working as a school, if you're a breast cancer organization, you can look up other pages and follow what they're doing. And that will kind of help you benchmark what you're doing. And then it will also help you get ideas for what's really working. Okay, Instagram. You can't look up Instagram Insights on a desktop or laptop. You do have to do Instagram Insights via your phone. It's very easy to do. You have to have an Instagram business account, and that's completely free. If you go into your settings on your Instagram account and it says change to a professional, let's see if we can do this. I've never done this with you guys before. Hold on. Show the back of my phone, the back end of my phone. Where is it? So I'm going to try to show you. I don't have actually a professional account, but I can show you how to set it up if you don't have one. I'm going to try to reflect my phone to the screen. Let's see if it'll work. No. Okay, I can't. Oh, there it is. This is pretty cool when it works. You'll be able to see the back end of my phone. There we go. Okay, I'll make it bigger. Let me see. Okay, so go to Instagram. I can't be responsible if other people are posting things. I love Christian Siriano. So this is Instagram. If you go to your account, and then you go to your settings in those top 3, go to your settings, and then it will say switch to professional account. It's now called apparently professional account. It was called business account a week ago, but you can't do anything about that. So this is where you're going to see the back end of your account. If you have a professional account, then you can see insights on the very back end of your phone. So you can't, unfortunately, do that. You can't do that from a desktop or a laptop unless you're using something like a Sprout Social or a dashboard that you pay for. Then you can get an Instagram analytics report from your desktop. But if you're just DIYing it, piecemealing it all together, these are some of the things that you can look at in your Instagram metrics. This is only if you are active. So I don't recommend analyzing Instagram insights if you have not been active on Instagram for 6 months, because that's not going to work. So only measure accounts where you are active. Okay, for Twitter analytics, Twitter analytics actually is kind of frustrating me lately because they don't give you a lot of insight on your audience. It used to be you could get a lot of insight just like Facebook, but now it doesn't give you that much insight. So it can track your videos. If you have ads, you can track conversions, but it'll give you a pretty good summary. So your 28-day summary, you can print that out at the end of every month, and you can see your top mentions, your top tweets, your top media tweet, and you can look at what happened month over month. So just go to analytics.com, analytics.twitter.com when you're logged in as your Twitter account. Once again, if you are not active on Twitter, then I don't recommend that you do that because it won't really work. So Lisa says, what do you think about Facebook work groups? Are you talking about Workplace? I haven't used Facebook Workplace. So, it's a work, I don't know. I just know what I've read about it. It's apparently something kind of like Slack or Trello or Asana. I guess you can have a private group for your workplace. You can do like chat. You can do video calls kind of all in one platform. I think it's a great tool. I'm not sure if anybody in this group has used it. I have not used it. I know you can use it for free, completely for free. So it's just one of those it's like a project management, team management tool, but it's just run by Facebook. And I know that it coordinates and links up with a lot of different apps and a lot of different cool things. Yeah, like video conferencing, messaging. I think that'd be great. So Lisa says, wondering about our offsite program, submitting stories. I think that's a fantastic idea. So I don't know if you need to do Workplace. You could probably just create a private unlisted Facebook group just so people like I did for the course. So you have to give me your email address and then I have to check it against the registration and then I let you in the group. So you could do a totally private Facebook group. But I think using Workplace for something like that would be awesome. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look up Workplace for next week because it's all about internal communications. And I'm going to see if I can find some case studies and examples because I think that's a really good, interesting idea. And I would love to learn more about it. So we'll definitely tackle that next week. Oh, Luke says, we use Workplace to connect to other United Ways around the world, but Slack has been handier for in-house communications. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Luke, I'm going to have to reach out to you for more information on internal communications and what you think is better. And I'm interested, Luke, also why you think Slack is handier than Workplace. Like what are maybe like 3 pros and cons? And I'm just taking notes for next week because I think that's a fantastic topic. So Luke, if you want to just email me or I can talk to you offline, I think that'd be awesome. I'd love to know like how you use it and, what are some of the pros and cons that you've been finding. All right. So YouTube is, if you're using YouTube, you should definitely be measuring what you're doing. This is my YouTube account. Also, TubeBuddy is a free plugin, And you can do so many things with TubeBuddy. You've probably heard me talk about it before. I'm kind of obsessed with it. And I just have the free version. I don't even have the one with all the bells and whistles. But TubeBuddy is going to show you which keywords you should be using. It'll help you generate thumbnails, the overall look and health of performance of your channel, A/B testing, comment moderation. I mean, honestly, a little checklist. This is what I love, the best practice checklist. So, you know, have you done all of these different things? And it's going to make sure that you're doing them for every single video. So TubeBuddy, it's a free extension. You know, it'll give you milestones. It'll give you, you know, 50 different things that you could be doing. Live streaming, playlists. I mean, there's so much that you could do. So TubeBuddy also has analytics. TubeBuddy really is awesome. So let me see. Where's the keyword? Keyword Explorer. So let's say I was thinking of doing a video about nonprofit live streaming. I could explore the keyword. So fair. There's not much competition, but there's not enough search volume. So I wonder what people, if they're searching nonprofit Facebook Live, and then you can see, this is good. There's a little bit of competition. It's searched often and it's worth targeting. So for your purposes, try to figure out what people are searching on and see if you can either create video content or measure your video content or write in headlines with those keywords. So that's just a little bit about TubeBuddy. So these are channel analytics, reach, engagement, audience, all the same kind of stuff. You just want to make sure, I basically just make sure that everything is growing. I just kind of look at everything. I'm like, okay, what's my top video? Could I make more videos like my top video? You know, what are the trends? I always look at trends. I always look at the bigger picture when I'm looking at these kind of analytics. So we're going to talk about 3 analytics dashboards, Buffer Analyze, Sprout Social, and Hootsuite. And there are different pricing options, but you do get quite a lot for free, or you at least get a lot for your free trial. So I like Buffer a lot. When you hook it up, you do get analytics on your stories if you're using Instagram stories, strategy recommendations for posting, so times and what kind of content, and professional reports that you can just print out and easily use. I think it's really cool. You can link Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and these are the analytics that you get for free. And then there's some pricing options here. You can also use Buffer for scheduling. So if you have a scheduling tool that you're already paying for that doesn't have analytics, it should have analytics, but Buffer is really my go-to tool. I really, really like Buffer a lot. Sprout Social is a lot more expensive, but if you're managing several channels, the time saved could be worth it to you, because otherwise you're going to have to go in to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and LinkedIn individually and get this information. So if you're leveraging and using a lot of different channels, it might be worth it to get a paid option for scheduling and for management. I know Sprout Social is hugely popular with the nonprofit crowd. If you have a team that is managing your social media, it absolutely could be a really, really great benefit for you. And the reports are totally customizable and really cool. And then Hootsuite, I like Hootsuite. It's not my favorite for reporting. I don't know why. It's kind of clunky and it's like PDFs and not my favorite. But you can customize reports. You can measure if you have people that are responding to things. You can track brand mentions. You can integrate different tools, and you can manage every different channel out there if you do manage all of these different channels. Really, if you just manage a handful of channels, 1 or 2, Buffer is going to absolutely have everything that you need. The free Hootsuite option is going to have everything that you need if you only have like 3 channels. So those are some options. Those are some options for you. Let's see. Have you heard of, is this Cynthia Morency? Have you heard of Clip-O-Matic? I need to make captions for my videos. Clip-O-Matic is amazing, but it's only on iOS from what I've heard. So Clip-O-Matic, I'm going to put it in the Clip-O-Matic app. First came on the scene when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was doing Instagram stories, and she used it to do she still uses it, I think, to do all of her caption and closed captioning on her Instagram stories. But as far as I know, Cindy, sorry, Carol, I don't know. It only says C, so I was guessed. It only says C. Carol, I think Clip-O-Matic is amazing if you have iOS. And I keep saying I have not found a tool for Android that I love that works like Clip-O-Matic. From what I've seen, how Clip-O-Matic is so easy to use. Some people I know have tools and they use them. They have tools that they use to do captions for Instagram. Now, captions for Facebook, if you upload a video to Facebook, even if you do a live video, once it's recorded, it will automatically caption it. Same with YouTube. Instagram is a different story. If you have a video on your phone that you're uploading to Twitter or you're uploading to LinkedIn, you're going to need to add the closed captions to it. I just have not found a tool for Android that I really like. Kevin says we use Sprout Social for scheduling to multiple channels and working with multiple team members. I haven't found their analytics to be as useful. Okay, I'm interested because I don't know. A lot of people that I've just always found them to be amazing. Maybe it's just hard to set up and manage multiple accounts for multiple people. But we all have our preferences. Of course, you could just use a good old-fashioned spreadsheet, which is what I'm going to show you right now. So for this spreadsheet, now I actually had a client several years ago who wanted to measure all of these different things. So I've just kept this spreadsheet as a template. You can delete rows, you can add rows as you go. If you don't use Twitter or if you don't use YouTube, if you use Instagram, obviously adding and deleting to these rows kind of as you go. So what I mean by social referrals to website, how many people visited the website in March from Facebook? So, 35, and then April, 40, and then June. So you can kind of see, is there a trend? Is it going up? What's the most popular site content? You want to just see the trends and maybe some months. You have to analyze things for about 3 to 6 months. You have to probably analyze things for 6 months before you can start seeing trends, especially right now. Everything is so up in the air and every hour is different. So make sure you're analyzing things for more than just 3 months or just 2 months. And you're not saying, nobody came from Twitter last month. We're just going to quit. We're just going to give it away. Make sure you're analyzing it over month over month over month over month. And these are just some email analytics that I measure: open rate, click-through rate, how many people clicked, the most popular link, number of subscribers. You could also measure things like your most popular subject line that got the biggest open rate. The thing is just to look at trends. So when you click on this, you just want to click File, make a copy, and then you will be able to edit this yourself. So if you're looking to just pull it all in yourself, and so let me see, it's bit.ly, if you want it in the chat, nonprofit metrics. There you go, that should work. And you'll get the slides as well, and you'll also get that link. So just to wrap up, how to strategically use the metrics. You want to be strategic. So you want to use these to tie back to your goals. And you don't need to do all of these things, but there are some ideas for being more strategic with what you're doing on social media. Learning more about your followers, certainly learning about the type of content they like and want to see, learning about when they're using, like, for example, Instagram, like when are they using it? How do they use it? If this is something that you want to pursue and you really want to level up your game, looking at your analytics is going to help you do that. It might help you change your posting time, change your posting day and time, and there's no single best time. And right now, there was a question in one of my groups that said, has anyone seen the best posting times changed now that there's more screen time, more people are working at home, that kind of thing? I have not seen that. I have seen more engagement kind of across the board and more reach across the board, but I'd be interested to know if any of you have seen that. Like if you normally post at 9 a.m. and now you've seen there's not much engagement at 9 a.m. I have been seeing engagement drop off on the weekends, but maybe people are just unplugging and just kind of taking a break, which is fine and absolutely good to do for your mental health. So using analytics will help you notice these trends. It's going to help you improve your content. It's going to help you really understand what your audience wants and what really resonates with them. And just remember, we talk about this all the time, but it's so important to remember that each platform is different and it requires a lot of time. So you don't have to be on every single platform. It's not possible. It's just not possible unless you have a marketing team of 50 people. Every platform has language, culture, etiquette, inhabitants, properties, strengths, weaknesses. And you have that social media matrix. I will put the link in the chat and I will find it for you. And I meant to pull it up. Social media matrix. Now it's just showing me Google. That's the spreadsheet listing out. It says current social media landscape. I'm sure things have changed, but it's listing, Facebook pages versus group versus fundraising tools, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch. I've listed all of these, and it's in a Google Doc, so I can update it as I get new data, as I get more statistics, just knowing that every single channel is different. And when you're evaluating if you should be on here, this is a review of something we did in a previous module. You need to be asking, is your target audience there? Can you add value there? Can you consistently create and share content designed for this specific channel? Like TikTok has a whole different culture than LinkedIn. So you can't just be recycling and repeating the content that you put on LinkedIn on TikTok. Do you have the capacity and resources to respond to comments? Do you have the time to learn it? And then do you have the time to do everything we talked about in the webinar today, to analyze, to measure, and to look strategically at the trends so that you can improve? Some benchmarks for you, MR benchmarks, Digital Outlook report, the Global NGO report. So these are all just, take these kind of with a grain of salt, because of course everything is going to be changing now. But I do get this question a lot. What are other organizations doing? How much are they spending? How much engagement are they getting? So they're going to show you the overall big picture, and then they're going to break it down. This one's really great because they break it down kind of by vertical, like wildlife, animal, international, hunger, poverty, that kind of thing. So take a look at these benchmark reports. Take them, I think, with a grain of salt, because you know what you're doing. If your board needs to see some benchmarks and your higher ups need to see some benchmarks, take a look at these. And then there's also, surprised I don't have it on here, the fundraising, because it's not specifically about social media, but the fundraising effectiveness project is also a really great one. There's a lot of reports about trends in fundraising, measurement tools, and other resources. So if you just go to afpep.org, that's where the fundraising effectiveness project is going to be. And that will give you the latest data on donor retention and year over year and gifts and the average size of the online gift and all that kind of great stuff. So take those with a grain of salt. So your homework activity, look at the metrics spreadsheet. Maybe you want to look at Buffer, or you want to look at Sprout Social or Hootsuite or another platform, and pick some metrics to measure and just get started measuring. Okay. In the next module, just to review again, I would love to talk about all of these different tools, Workplace versus Slack versus Trello, and I'm writing this down. I know I'm familiar with some of these, but I'm going to look them up, and I'm going to look up some case studies for you. And I can share with you how I do content creation and time batching and boundaries. Any advice you have on internal communications, or any struggles, any challenges, anything that you can, offer and share and help others in terms of what's been helpful to you and how you handle internal communications is really helpful. But of course, you can always email me your top challenges too, and we can cover that. And then of course, how to get buy-in. So I apologize, because today I know on the syllabus we had a Facebook Live at noon. That was because I was supposed to be speaking at the AFP International Conference in Baltimore this week, and then again at the National Association of YMCA's Development Officers. So I was supposed to be in Baltimore all week, and clearly that's not happening. So that's why the syllabus kind of changed a little bit. But we are going to have a Facebook Live Q&A. Oh, and Laura, I put it in the chat. Sorry, it's under this spreadsheet. I'll put it in there again so it doesn't get lost. There will be a Facebook Live Q&A on Thursday at 4:30. And then of course you can always put things in the group. So we have about 10 minutes. I don't want to take any more time than you need, but I would love to answer your questions. I'm just taking some notes, things I'm thinking about for next week. I would love to take your questions. What are you working on? What are you struggling with? What is your biggest challenge this week? And, kind of how are things going? We need to talk to each other and give each other support. How are you connecting with your donors this week? Are you canceling fundraising events? Are you postponing fundraising events? I know a lot of you had mentioned in the group that you had to cancel some of your biggest signature fundraising events. So just wondering how that's going, what you're working on, what you're struggling with. But if there aren't any questions, we don't have to stay on at all. We don't. And if you can find an app for me for an Android phone that works as well as Clip-O-Matic, I would love it. There is one that I just can't remember what it is, and I downloaded it to my phone, but it was horrible. That everyone told me was great, but I didn't like it at all. It was not good. I'm always on the lookout for that. All right, so we're getting a new date for our honoree and then going to get the word out this week. Okay, it's always stressful. Cindy, do you think quantity of social media posting is the same now as when we talked about a few weeks ago? Yes, I just think that maybe the tone is a little bit different. So I never recommend posting just for the sake of posting, ever. You don't want to throw something up there. You really only want to post when you have something to add to the conversation or something to say. But I do think that your donors and your supporters want to hear from you right now. They want to hear positive things, and they want to hear the reality of things. So if you're working for like a rare disease organization, the people that you are communicating with, they want to know what is going on. What do we need to know? How can we stop this? How can we help? What can we do? How can we connect with other people? Like what are the resources that we can share? Are you you're a trusted source of information. So how can we, what can we do? Everyone is asking, what can we do? And you might not have anything for them to do, and that is fine. You might just want to share an update from your development director or you working in your office saying, hi, everyone, we're all working remotely now. We totally understand. I just think as long as you're coming at it from a place of compassion and you're keeping in touch, I just see it as kind of keeping in touch with your donors right now, not inundating them with a lot of information that they don't need. And Bethany, yes, making lots of donor calls and engaging my stewardship committee to assist with these calls. I provided talking points to my committee members, totally winging this. Check in on people. If you have an events committee, or if you have a run or a walk or something that got canceled, and there were people that were signed up and pledging and selling tables and selling tickets and having a run team, call them and talk to them. These are people. These are human beings at the end of the day. There's no easy way to do this. There is no guidebook for this. There is no guidebook. So I've been writing and reading and doing videos and trying to do as much as I can, but there's no guidebook. I mean, this is different than 9/11. This is different than 2008. This is different than anything we've had to deal with, certainly in anyone's lifetime right now. So there is not a guidebook. We're all winging it. I love just like the thought of going with your gut and what you think is right to do, but treating your donors like humans. Julie says we changed our 50th gala to October, hoping the fall will work versus spring. Is there a season best for fundraising? Right now, I have no idea. I will tell you, every single thing is moved to September and October. So I had events March, April, May, June. Every one of them has shifted to September and October. So my September and October are packed back to back to back to back to back. So I'm even thinking November might even be better at this point, but certainly year end is good for fundraising, but there's definitely pros and cons. It depends on your audience completely, but the fall that's where a lot of events are shifting. And I think your donors are going to be completely understanding of that. Cindy says our goal is to keep people feeling connected and not lose momentum with volunteers. Yes. Laura says, my personal experience is that I kind of have tunnel vision right now. If it isn't directly tied to mission critical items, I ignore it. Have others noticed that engagement is down as a result of this? I don't know. That's definitely a question that would be good for the nonprofit social media storytelling group, because people are asking a lot of questions about what's getting the most engagement. Is engagement down? And it's a wide variety. Some people are seeing more engagement. Some people are seeing less. I think that it's just everyone's audience is different and it depends on your mission. Jess says, I'm balancing posting information about community resources for survivors of sexual and domestic violence. And I'm going to be moving all of our programming for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which I know is in April, online. We're moving forward with a social media fundraising campaign, hoping that we will get engagement with our online fundraising campaign, despite everything that is going on. Okay, this is an issue that I feel very strongly about because, I used to work at a domestic violence shelter. I used to work at a rape crisis center. Feel very strongly about this issue. The people that feel strongly about this issue feel strongly about this issue. And we're all thinking right now, what is going to happen to these families that are in crisis, that are in abusive situations? What can we do for them? I know that was honestly one of the first things I thought when I thought of the school closings. I thought, oh my gosh, first of all, kids that can't afford breakfast and lunch. And the second thing I thought was kids in abusive households. So for me, that's where my brain went. I'm sure that's where a lot of your donors and supporters' brains are going, and they're thinking about it. And I absolutely think talking about issues that are important like this right now is vital and important. And people want to know. They want to know what's going on. They want you to be honest with them, and they want to know how they can help. So I think that's absolutely appropriate. Okay, Bethany says, how much is too much when posting, especially thanking people who are helping our organization? Okay, I don't think you can thank people too much, but that's not going to be the most engaging on social media unless you're doing it in a fun way, like a Facebook Live where you read their names and throw confetti and have like a fun filter or something. So I wouldn't clutter up your whole newsfeed with thank yous. Maybe just do like Thankful Thursday. And you certainly could do any number of thank you posts on Instagram stories. That's fine. I've seen that. I've seen organizations do like 10 or even like 15, 20 thank you posts on Instagram stories. I think that's fine because people are used to a lot of content. But if you're talking about your main feed on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram or LinkedIn, I would not have every other post be a be a thank you post. So try to do maybe Thankful Thursday where you post 2 or 3 thank yous. Maybe there's a way you could do it in a more fun way. You could do a Zoom call with the person and talk to them. Um, just try to think of more creative ways to do it. I don't think you can ever thank people too much, but I just think it's not as engaging and interesting for your social media followers to see that every single day. If that makes sense. All right, great. We're at time. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I really look forward to seeing you in the Facebook Live. I have to be honest, all of this is really grounding me and helping me take my mind off of everything, helping me stay connected, and just really giving me hope that, I mean, I know we're all going to get through this, but just giving me hope that the nonprofit sector is going to survive and thrive and persist. And all of you are doing such awesome work. And I just want you to know, I mean, I'm happy to look at anything that you send me. I'm happy to review anything. I'm happy to provide any advice and resources outside these weekly webinars. I'm happy to do that. So I want you to all take care and stay healthy, stay sane, take a mental health break. I give you permission. Turn off your phone, watch a movie. Everybody's watching Tiger King or something. I don't know what it's called. It's the only thing that's in my newsfeed right now. I have no idea what it is. Something about tigers. I don't know. On Netflix. I'm going to watch it tonight. So take some time for yourself. Don't work too hard. And I will see you soon. Okay. Take care, everyone.